I've actually been working for the University of Hawaii since 1984. My perspective is maybe not that unique. Maybe it is unique. I'm not sure. But I started as a lecturer, working for both Hawaii Community College and Hilo. Then I was offered a position as a non-tenure track instructor in 1992. And now, literally, I mean, seriously, as I look at perhaps the last few years of employment with the state of Hawaii, I just submitted my tenure document in October. So I'm not kidding when I said, sort of when I say one of my sort of professional goals was to retire, to be able to retire before I hit 60. And that's within sight. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to retire, but, it has taken me over 25 years to get to the point where I'm actually in a tenure track position. And now I'm looking at, the twilight of my career in that I'm nearing the 30-year mark. So I've seen a lot of changes in relation to this particular campus because I've been here since 1984. And I will second Nani's concerns about the No Child Left Behind generation coming to college in just a little bit. But the other thing that I think we all know, and if we aren't aware of, we should be, is the huge swing toward more faculty being in non-tenure track positions. Contingent faculty is, the term, as opposed to tenure track faculty. I've seen it from both points of view. On this campus in particular, I very much appreciate those non-tenure track instructors and often lecturers who have been hired year after year, semester after semester, who have longer tenures in that sense than some of the new people who have come in within the last few years. They have, careers that are 20 plus years.
That'd be like my buddy Tim Freeman.
Yes. Although Tim's actually one of the younger ones. So there are colleagues who have been on this campus at least since 1992 in these non-tenure track instructor positions who are still here. So, you are working side by side with people who have been here, some of you maybe longer than you have, who have seen a lot of, what's happened on campus. So there's that impact. What does that impact have on our, professionalism? And I am not saying that any of them are less professional than anybody else. In fact, I do think that for some of them, they are, working way harder because they teach more. I mean, they just simply teach more. And they'd like to do research, but, if you've got 12 credits every semester and you've got huge classes of students or lots of work associated with that, you don't have that much time. So there's that. Then the No Child Left Behind generation in English, which is where I come from, we have seen a sort of steady decline in students' reading ability, which translates directly into their ability to write because of critical thinking. And then, as Sharon alluded to, the student learning outcomes, assessment. What is all that saying about our students? And in the English department in particular, freshman composition is often the only writing course that students take, and they don't take anything else until they get into their majors. And then there's that expectation that they should be able to write. Well, realistically, if all you've taken is one semester of writing, how are you going to be expected to perform at that higher level? So, and I'm not casting aspersions on anybody, but that is often a reality for many of our students. They'll take English 100 in that first year, either in the fall or the spring semester, and then they might not take any other courses that involve any extensive writing for at least a semester or longer. And that has a direct impact on their ability to perform in other courses, especially in their major.
I just wanted to touch on a couple of things. I, too, was a 20-year lecturer, and then I went to this anomalous position called a V position and eventually a T position, and I got a tenure track position about 6-7 years ago, I think it was, thanks to our contract. It was a conversion case. But I remember this really clearly, you know, in terms of just the dignity of our profession. I was told at one point in time by my chair that there was no need for me to be concerned about having a tenure track position because I would, quote, always have a job at KCC. But when I did finally get tenure, he was the first person to say, congratulations, now you have a voice. So there is something in that, yeah, about being in a tenured position in our community, in our profession, that carries with it an extra measure of respect.